I come with no other agenda than desperately trying to help people who are in need. And I see that as part of my role, is that why else would I be here if I'm not using this role properly to influence and help people where I can.
Prince William stuns the world by changing royal family titles. Okay, so here's what went down. On his 43rd birthday, of all days, Prince William triggered a formal announcement that has completely shaken up the royal line. The announcement stated that his cousins, James, who was the Earl of Wessex, and his sister, Lady Louise Windsor, would immediately no longer use their courtesy title.
From the search and rescue and the air ambulance side of things, from what they both said, it's bang on. It's about this having the shield, and the shield can be penetrated occasionally.
Now, while the official document had King Charles's signature, sources close to the palace say this move was almost entirely driven by Prince William. It's a key part of his long-stated goal to create a smaller or more streamlined monarchy. The key thing to understand here is that this wasn't a punishment. It was a strategic decision. The aim was to clear up any public confusion about who is a working royal with official duties and who isn't. William believes that having titles without a specific public-facing role just doesn't make sense anymore. But why would William make such a move? It all comes down to his vision for a more modern and streamlined royal family. To really get it, you have to understand William's core philosophy. For years, even before becoming the Prince of Wales, he has been a major supporter of the idea of a slimmed-down monarchy. This isn't just a catchphrase, it's a complete game plan for the future. He sees a future where the royal family isn't this huge, sprawling network of cousins and distant relatives all holding titles. Instead, he envisions a tight, focused core of senior royals who are dedicated, full-time public servants. This leads to a really important distinction he's trying to make crystal clear for the public: the difference between a working royal and a non-working royal. A working royal is someone whose entire job is to represent the crown. They are the ones you see opening hospitals, attending state dinners, going on official tours, and supporting hundreds of charities. Their work is funded by the public through the sovereign grant, and with that comes an expectation of service. A non-working royal, on the other hand, is someone who is part of the family by birth but doesn't perform official duties. They might appear at big family events like weddings or a coronation, but they have their own private lives and careers. William's point is that in the 21st century, it's confusing and potentially damaging for people to hold grand titles if they aren't actively working for the institution. It muddies the waters and can lead to criticism about who is benefiting from the royal status without contributing to its official duties. This decision is a direct attempt to align the monarchy with modern public expectations about transparency, cost, and purpose. It's a calculated, strategic move to ensure the monarchy's survival and relevance for generations to come.
I started feeling things that I've never felt before, and I got very sad and very down about sort of this particular family.
Now, you might be wondering, who exactly are James and Louise, and why were they chosen for this change? This is where the story gets really interesting. James and Louise are Prince William's first cousins. They are the children of Prince Edward, who is King Charles's youngest brother, and his wife Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. For a long time, James was known by the title Viscount Severn, and his sister was Lady Louise Windsor. When their father, Edward, was recently made the Duke of Edinburgh, a huge honor as it was his father, Prince Philip's title, James automatically inherited Edward's old title, becoming the new Earl of Wessex. But here's the crucial part. From the moment they were born, their parents, Edward and Sophie, made a very deliberate and conscious decision to raise them differently. They wanted their children to have as normal a life as possible, away from the intense glare of the royal spotlight. They turned down the option for their children to be styled as His or Her Royal Highness from birth. The plan was always for James and Louise to grow up, understanding that they would very likely need to get jobs and work for a living. They were raised to see themselves as private individuals who just happened to be part of a very famous family. So when William decided to start enforcing this clear line between working and non-working royals, James and Louise were, in a way, the most logical and straightforward place to start. Their parents had already laid the groundwork for them to have lives outside the royal machine. Removing their courtesy titles, while shocking to the public, essentially just formalized the path they were already on. It wasn't about punishing them, it was about making them the first examples of this new, modernized approach. It sends a clear message that from now on, a title is not just a birthright, but something that is tied directly to public service and an official role within the family.
We regularly used to talk about it and try and understand it better, and I think that helped me come to terms with just the enormous sadness of what I'd witnessed.
This decision wasn't made in a vacuum. It's part of a larger strategy that shows William's growing influence within the royal family. To put it simply, Prince William is no longer just waiting in the wings. He is actively co-piloting the direction of the monarchy. This move is a classic example of his leadership style, which is proving to be incredibly calculated and strategic. He's thinking 10 steps ahead, looking at the long-term health and public perception of the institution he will one day lead. Sources close to the prince say he is supported by what some are calling a shadow court. Now that sounds dramatic, but what it really means is that he has surrounded himself with a team of modern, forward-thinking advisors. These aren't just the old-school palace courtiers of the past, they are strategists and communication experts who understand the landscape of the 21st century. Together, they are helping William shape a monarchy that is more focused, more relevant, and more accountable to the public. His decisions are often made quietly, without a lot of advance warning or public debate, and then they are announced as final. This is a power move. It shows that he has the confidence and the authority granted by his father, the king, to make these tough calls. This isn't just about his cousins. It's a clear signal to everyone, both inside and outside the palace, about the kind of king he intends to be. Some royal experts have even suggested there might be a layer of personal history involved. The decision reinforces a very clear hierarchy, where the direct line of succession, William and his own children, are the absolute central focus, cementing their primary importance over other branches of the family. It's a masterclass in quietly asserting control and setting the stage for his future reign. As you can imagine, a decision this big has caused quite a stir. Let's look at how the public and the media have reacted. The moment the news broke, it created a massive public and media storm. The reactions were incredibly mixed and fell into two main camps. On one side, there was a huge amount of praise for William. Supporters saw this as a brave and necessary step towards modernizing a 1,000-year-old institution. They applauded him for having the courage to make an unpopular decision for the greater good of the monarchy's future. The narrative from this side was that William is a forward-thinking leader who understands that the monarchy needs to evolve to survive. They see him as trimming the fat, getting rid of the confusing and outdated parts of the system, and ensuring that a royal title actually means something in the modern world, that it comes with a job and real responsibilities. However, there was an equally strong, if not more emotional, backlash. Critics slammed the decision as being unnecessarily harsh, unkind, and even unjust. The main thrust of this argument was focused on James and Louise themselves. Here are two young people who have never put a foot wrong. They have lived quiet, dignified lives, deliberately kept out of the spotlight by their parents. They have never been involved in scandals or courted public attention. So to many, it felt like they were being punished for no reason. People questioned the timing and the coldness of the formal announcement. It was seen by some as a public snub to Prince Edward and Sophie, who are known to be some of the hardest working and most reliable members of the family. The criticism painted William as being somewhat ruthless, putting his grand strategy ahead of personal family feelings, and making an example out of two of the most unassuming members of the royal family.
It's not just the high pressure side that happens, you know. It can happen, it can creep up on people in all different ways, and as you'll hear, I'm sure, throughout today.
So where does the royal family go from here? This single decision has thrown a spotlight on the future of the entire institution. It's clear this is just the beginning of Prince William's long-term plan. This wasn't just about James and Louise. It was about setting a precedent. It forces us to ask the big question: what does this mean for other non-working royals who hold titles? The most obvious people this could affect are Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie. Like their cousins, they are not working royals. They have their own careers and families, yet they hold the title of princess and Her Royal Highness. Under William's new, stricter definition, will they be able to keep those titles in the long run? This move signals a seismic shift towards a much smaller, more concentrated version of the monarchy, where only those in the direct line of succession and their immediate families hold the top-tier status. It's a future where titles are directly linked to duty and public service. This decision marks a pivotal moment. Prince William is actively shaping the monarchy he will one day inherit, making it leaner, more focused, and in his view, more capable of surviving in the modern world. But it leaves us with a lot to think about. What do you think of this decision? Is Prince William making a smart, necessary move for the future, or was it an unkind cut to his own family? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video informative and want to stay up to date with all the changes in the royal family, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a single update. Thanks for watching.